Hello everybody, I'm Elwirfy and today we're back playing some more Stories from Seoul, the Gun Dog. Let's go ahead and see how we can communicate with the chief. You grab the handle on the suit's container and twist. The metal in your hand is noticeably colder to the touch than it was the last time you were here. Once the lock is undone, you open the door and, bracing the suit with your left hand, grab the radio with your right. As you disconnect the radio unit from the breast panel, the spiraling plastic cord that connects it to the suit comes with it. Turning the radio in your hand, you find where the cord connects and unscrew the attachment point, allowing the cable to spring back towards the suit. You quickly extend the telescoping antenna and flick the power switch, which causes the sound of whining static to fill the previously silent room. You slowly rotate the tuning dial, working your way through the frequencies until a familiar voice comes out of the tiny speaker. An emergency broadcast from the Chief Engineer, Mackenzie Cathy's, on the JFS Gundog to any JFS Gundog crew members or any JCF ships nearby. The Gundog has suffered a complete systems failure, and assistance is needed to get them back online. I repeat, this is an emergency broadcast from Chief Engineer Mackenzie Cathy's on JFS Gundog to any JFS Gundog crew members or any JCF ships nearby. The Gundog has suffered a complete systems failure, and assistance is needed to get them back online. Chief, this is Lieutenant Werfs reading you, loud and clear. I've managed to get an emergency radio from one of the suits in the airlock. I'm able to get around the thoroughfares and to the bridge, but I can't get anywhere else. It took you long enough. What the hell's everyone been doing this whole time? You're just about to push the button and send your response, but the chief cuts in. Anyway, you're in touch now. That's what counts. You said you could get to the bridge. Is that right? That's right. Then get back up there and get the captain to give me the input codes to access the main computer so that I can get the ship running again. Slight complication, Chief. The captain's taken sick. She's not on the bridge. Classic, Bartimeus. Then get back up there and tell Lieutenant Commander Quinn to give me the input codes. She's out of commission too. She collapsed at the same time the ship's power went out. You realize your thumb allowing the chief to... You release your thumb, allowing the chief to broadcast, but where you expected a swiftly delivered alternative, all you get is radio static. Oh, Chief? Nothing's ever easy, huh, Lieutenant? Who's currently on the bridge, then? That'd be Lieutenant Lord. Well, she's the commanding officer on board right now, I guess. You're going to want to get up there. I've got an idea, but it's not something I can authorize. Your grip on the radio tightens as a sense of apprehension grows within you. You don't know what the chief has in mind, but it requires the authority of the ship's senior officer. You know that it's got to be something dangerous. Yeah, probably. Realizing you've been holding your breath since the chief's last message, you breathe out and push the button on the radio's side to send your message. Copy that, Chief. Heading up there now. Radio in hand, you run quickly to make your way back from the airlock into the central hub and then head straight for the maintenance crawlway. It only takes you a moment from groping around in the darkness to find a ladder rung before you're on your way back up to the bridge. As you climb, each rung that you grip is cold to the touch, and the air that you breathe has a brisk chill to it. You know what this means, but for the time being, decide to push that thought out of your head. You've got the other things to focus on. Yeah, we're all going to suffocate and die. The climb up seems a lot shorter than your original climb down, and you soon emerge back on the bridge. Vanessa swivels in her chair and paces over to you. So, did you get in touch with anyone? Kind of. You bring the radio up to your face so that the microphone is level with your mouth and push the talk button with your thumb. Chief, I'm back on the bridge with Lieutenant Lord. Releasing the button, you walk past Vanessa, handing the radio over to her before heading over towards Cassie. Fair. Vanessa looks from you to the radio with mild bewilderment before the chief's voice sounds from the speaker. Lieutenant Lord, this is Chief Engineering Cathy's. Do you read? As you kneel down by Cassie to check her pulse and temperature, as well as doing your best to tuck your jacket around her, the way the chief addresses Vanessa catches your attention. Okay. You hadn't heard the chief being that deferential towards anyone, even the captain. I hear you, Chief Athays. Captain Bartimeus and Commander Quinn are both incapacitated, so I'm in command of the Gundog until such a time as they can return to duty. Understood? You frown slightly, hearing Vanessa assert her position over the chief like that. Well, you know, sometimes you gotta work with people you don't like. Although she is the ranking officer in this situation, you'd not heard anyone on board pull rank in that way, especially on the chief, who you were under the impression enjoyed the respect of everyone on board, including Hansen and Haru. Yes, ma'am. Good. Now, have you got a plan, Chief Cathes? Or has Lieutenant Worfs brought me this radio so we can have a chat about how nothing's working on your end either? Dang, so rude. As you stand and turn to face Vanessa, you catch the last few moments of a distasteful look she'd been making at you whilst your back was turned, and you do your best to bite your tongue. Yes, ma'am. Lieutenant Worfs has explained to me that both the captain and Commander Quinn are out of action, so I'm aware neither one of them will be able to give me the input codes required to reactivate the central computer. Right, we know that. We know that, Cathes. What's the situation? The only hope we've got right now is that the captain has copies of the documents that contain the access codes in her quarters. If someone can get in there, they can get the codes and tell them to me, letting me reactivate the ship system. Sorry. If we'd been able to get into the captain's quarters, we'd have done that already. The whole ship's locked down, and there's no way to get in there. You notice the slightest pause before the chief responds. You could be projecting, but you get the impression that she's just as fed up as you are. I hope she is. Not quite, ma'am. That's a bit snippy. Although all the terminals and most of the hardware on the ship is dependent on the central computer, we've got a tool that we use when something needs to be disconnected from the system. We use it from maintenance or debugging the PST, the portable subterminal. Okay, it's effectively a standalone power pack with a microcomputer built in it that provides enough power to activate the hardware attached to a terminal. Okay, it'll let us get into the captain's quarters, and then from there we can get the codes to start the computer back up. So where is this PST? It's in the hangar. Oh shit. We can't get in the hangar either. I know you're stuck in engineering, Cathes, but the story's the same for the entire ship. Another silence follows, longer this time. That's true if you're trying to get to the hangar from inside the ship, ma'am. But the Gundog has two entrances that can be activated entirely manually, the main onboarding airlock and the hangar crew airlock. If someone left the ship via the onboarding airlock, they could make their way to the crew airlock for the hangar and re-enter there. Then they could get the PST and make their way through the ship as normal. Okay, I see. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chief Engineering Cathes, but aren't yourself and Cadet Grange the only crew on board qualified for extravehicular activity in space? And you're currently stuck in engineering, whilst we can't get in contact with Cadet Grange, just to bring us to PST. Did I miss something? Which one's Grange? Why do I forget? Which? Oh wait, is Grange? Is that Dalton's last name? Shoot, why am I forgetting? Yes, ma'am. You begin to feel a knot in your gut, and internally you curse Dalton, it is Dalton, for not having picked up enough of the chief's know-how to have found an emergency radio of his own. And policy dictates that all EVA needs to be commanded by an operations officer. The knot in your stomach tightens as you take a deep breath in. Vanessa's eyes are now locked on you. Yes, ma'am. The slightest hint of a smile forms on Vanessa's face. Well, Lieutenant, it looks like you're going for a walk. Hell yeah, let's go spacewalk. I'm excited, even though my guy's upset. You'd seen this coming in as soon as the chief began outlining the plan, but you'd been hoping that there'd be some extra part that hadn't been revealed yet, something that would allow you to stay on board. God, my guy's such a coward. This guy, I'm trained, right? Faced with Vanessa's directness, the knot in your stomach tightens further. A sense of nausea rises from your gut. Fine. Some people took well to spacewalks. Some even enjoyed them so much they'd take on careers in colony construction and repair, where they'd spend more time in the vacuum of space than they did on the inside the colony or on ships. I'm like, dang, I'm excited. I'm a space guy. I love this stuff. I'm not going to be rude about it. Plus, we're in a crisis. Yelling at people isn't going to help anyone. You were not one of those people. You only ever left the confines of a ship or colony a few times in your life, and almost all of those had been evacuation drills that you'd been through in school during citizenry courses. I don't know, man. You're signing up to go into space and you don't know how to I don't know. It seems weird. On every occasion that you could remember, you'd reacted badly, but managed to keep it to yourself. Something about being in the void, an attachment clip or handrail away from drifting off into endless nothingness of space, had always filled you with dread. I'm not saying it's not scary, but I'm saying you don't got a choice. The knowledge that you were a slip away from disappearing forever, irreversible and helpless. But despite all that, you knew full well from Vanessa's discussion with the chief that there was not going to be any way around doing this, and right now you were the ship's, Cassie's only hope. You know, it's amazing what kind of motivation you can get when you're in love with someone. I feel like that alone should power my character enough through to, get shit done. Because otherwise, this guy has no motivation at all. As much as you hated the thought of it, you pushed back against the fear that had been rising up inside you. Thank you. Taking a deep breath, you resigned yourself to what you had to do. Fine, I'll do it. The chief can walk me through everything that I need to know on my way over to the airlock. The dashing security officer diving headfirst into danger. Isn't he great, Lieutenant Commander Quinn? So selfless. Vanessa rolls her eyes, covering her mouth with the back of her hand and putting on a mocking tone. Oh, my hero, so brave, going into space to save us. Only you can. You snatch the radio off Vanessa and turn your back on her, heading towards the maintenance crawlway. Okay, yeah, that's fair. She doesn't need to be rude about it. At this point, you've just about all you can. Wow, I'm really screwing that up. At this point, you've had just about all you can take of her, so the sooner this situation is resolved, you decide, the sooner you can go back to avoiding her. Oh, quit making a big deal of this with all your huffing and puffing, Lieutenant Worf. Okay. From what I've heard, hanging out in space is something of a pastime of yours. Oh god, PTSD again. Okay. Oh, that's it. With that comment, you feel like your heart dropped out of your chest. You quickly spin back to face Vanessa. Lieutenant? Oh god, don't say something stupid, dude. Reining in the flash of anger you just felt, you silently shake your head as you turn back around and grab a hold of the first rung of the crawlway's ladder. Okay. Chief, I'm on my way to the airlock now. Walk me through what I need to know. Wait. With one hand still on the ladder's rung, you pause and turn around. Yes, Lieutenant Lord? You just about managed to ask through gritted teeth. But don't you think you're forgetting something? Doing your best to suppress the urge to scream that you can feel building in your chest, you pause for a moment and stare at the Lieutenant Lord, trying to puzzle what kind of mind game she's playing. Lieutenant Lord, if there's... Before you finished, Vanessa rolls her eyes and turns on her heels, walking back over to Cassandra, squatting down. You almost yell out when Vanessa lays her hand on Cassie's hip, but you stop when you see her withdraw a key card from Cassie's skirt pocket. Holding it between her thumb and forefinger, with a flourish, she waves it at you as she stands up and walks over to you. The central computer can only be accessed by a captain or members of operations. Good luck getting in there without this. Vanessa casually tosses you the card, which you grab out of the air. At least I caught it. You got Cassandra's key card. Cool. You turn the card over in your hand a few times before pocketing it. But the chief said that the PST used its battery power to open. I can see what you and her see in each other. As if hooking a battery to a door would get you around the ship's security systems. You're still going to need to have the right authority levels to get through. Honestly. At this point, your jaw is clenched so hard it feels like your teeth may crack at any second, but with the cold chill of the letter rung reminding you in just how dire a situation this is, you turn back around. My guy, I feel like my guy's kind of a whiner. He'd like, I don't know. I don't like playing characters like that, but it's fine. It's like, why are you, especially in the military, this seems very unprofessional. Thank you, Lieutenant. You just about manage. Still there, Chief? I'm heading to the airlock now. Have you got the radio coming through the helmet speakers, Lieutenant? The Chief's voice fills your helmet with the sound of quality somehow worse than the speakers on the main radio unit itself. Loud and clear, Chief. You respond, securing your radio to the suit's breast panel. You've got the emergency suit on and sealed. Oh yeah, it's missing. Yeah, currently breathing on the suit's oxygen supply. What now? Do you see the access panel next to the internal airlock hatch? Yes. The spacesuit's helmet is attached to the rest of the suit in a fixed position. Although you turn your head back to check, all you can see is the helmet's interior. You turn your whole body to an exaggerated motion to look for the emergency access panel and spot it on the other side of the hatch. I see it, Chief. I'm heading over now. Alright, you'll need to remove the panel in the same way that you did the one on the bridge. Once you've got it off, you'll see a large handle. Cranking that lever operates the manual override that will open the hatch to the airlock. Wait, is that the hatch or is that the... Which one is it? Understood. Although you'd had to learn to operate an airlock manually in basic training, you didn't feel now was time to dismiss the chief and act like a know-it-all. She was likely getting her fill of that from Lieutenant Lord. You kneel down by the panel and attempt to find the gap between its edge and the surrounding wall. This is made a lot harder by the thick material in your suit. Sure. After a few attempts to find it, the tips of your gloves catch in the recess. You work your digits more until you find a catch that you can squeeze. Hey, we got it off. The panel falls away from the wall, and you take a hold of it, placing it to the side. Underneath the long handle marked emergency use only. Alright, that's the access panel out of the way. I see the handle. Good, now you're going to want to turn it counterclockwise and keep going until the hatch is open. Understood. Okay. Placing your left hand at the bottom of the handle and your right hand at the top, you apply as much force as you can to push it clockwise. Your initial heave barely moves it despite your best effort. Uh-oh. Come on. You grip the handle again, and you place your entire bodily weight behind your effort to shift it. This time it moves more noticeably, but when you look at the airlock hatch, it doesn't appear to have opened at all. With another grunt, you push the lever the full 90 degrees, allowing it to return to its neutral position. Although it still resists you, you're able to feel the ratchet mechanism begin to move. You push the handle 90 degrees again before letting it reset. Okay. You adjust your grip and push the handle again. Easy. Okay. You complain through your gritted teeth as you feel the mechanism slowly but surely moving a little bit each time. Is it slightly opening? As you carry this process, straining against the mechanism, you complete the crank after crank. You can hear the mechanism of the airlock groan with each turn. I think we should go get Hansen. Eventually, something gives and the mechanism of the airlock uncouple, releasing their locks, and the whole thing slides open. Sweet. Ooh, that's a cool animation. High-risk zone. Fair. You can feel the sweat of your brow curse that you put on the suit beforehand, preventing you from wiping it off. Okay, Chief. I'm heading into the airlock chamber. What's next? You'll see a similar panel on the opposite end of the hatch inside the chamber. Same deal, but in reverse. Makes sense. Okay. Once inside the airlock chamber, you spot an identical access panel and quickly get to work. Unfortunately, it's just as hard to close the hatch as was to open it. Interior hatch is closed. Now what? You try to keep your breath under control as the inside of your helmet begins to heat up, reminding you of another reason you've never been fond of them. I love spacesuits. What you're going to need to do next, it will be to vent the air in the chamber and open the exterior hatch. To start with, the Chief walks you step by step through the process required. Although you remember most of this from training, you're thankful for the help as a few parts had slipped your mind. Sure. You carry on following the Chief's orders until with one final monumental heave, you get the external hatch open. You step away from the lever and head over to the opening. Seeing the stars in front of you rather than through a terminal or view screen fills you with familiar dread that you felt on the bridge. Alright, Chief, I'm heading out. Pressing firmly on the switch on your suit's breast panel, you hear a momentary high-pitched whine as the soles of the boots are drawn towards the airlock. With the electromagnetics now active, each step is an effort, but at least you know you won't go hurling into space. Sure. Very cool. You place one foot on the edge of the airlock hatch and stare out into the emptiness. You see nothing but stars, with light years of gulf between you and them. It's a cool spacesuit. With your next step, uh, you head on out into the nothingness, pivoting on the axis of your foot at the edge of the airlock. You always keep one foot down. The step that took you into space brings your foot back down onto the Gundog's exterior hull. Even though the ship had fallen silent since its power had been knocked offline, that hadn't been true silence. There'd been the echo of your footsteps in the almost inaudible sounds of the other things the crew members were doing in the far-off reaches of the ship. Out here, all you could hear was your own breathing and the whine of the magnets. Yep. I don't even know if you'd hear the magnets actually, but I mean, maybe you would. But yeah, it'd be dead silent. You take a moment to orient yourself as you turn 90 degrees to your right, angling yourself towards the front of the ship. With a little difficulty, you bring one foot up and away from the hull and place it back down in front of you. Slowly but steadily, you make your way towards the hangar airlock. Still with us, Lieutenant Wirfs. Haven't gotten hurling off into space or anything. You roll your eyes as you plod forwards. Still here, Lieutenant Lord? Good, good. What's your ETA on the hangar airlock? You quickly do some rough maths around what you know about the Gundog's dimensions. Airlock's around the midpoint of the ship, 250 meters long, about 5 minutes, Lieutenant. This isn't a Sunday afternoon stroll at the replica gardens, Wirfs. Pick up the pace. Okay. You allow yourself the opportunity to curse openly at Vanessa before hitting the push-to-talk button again. Yes, ma'am. You carry on the laborious march to the hangar's crew airlock, slowly heaving one foot at a time away from the ship's hull before placing it back down in front of you. There are a few awkward areas where the ship's hull rises or falls, and you have to navigate your way across them. The loss of constant bearing begins to disorient you, but you march onward, ensuring that you are heading consistently in a straight line regardless of orientation. Okay. Eventually, you see the distinct markings that indicate an airlock hatch in the distance. Is it one of these? One of those? I don't know. Although it's marked in the same way as the one you'd emerged from, this one is much smaller and scarcely bigger than the typical doorway inside of the Gundog. You enjoy a momentary celebration, then pick up the pace. All right, Chief, I'm at the hangar crew airlock. Okay, if you look right of the door panel, you should see an access panel with a lever underneath, just like the others. Okay, let's see. Ooh. Due to your orientation from standing on the ship's hull of the airlock entryway, the way is laid out at your feet. You shift yourself to be able to look right and see the panel, which you head over to and squat down in front of, running your fingers along its edges to find the familiar recesses. Okay. With a practiced moment, you undo the clip, unlike the panels inside the ship that freely come away as one swings on a hinge, revealing the lever underneath. Oh shit. It's like a bomb defusal. Hopefully this should be easier on a smaller hatch. You mutter to yourself, reaching for the lever. Uh-oh. Am I realizing there's code? Chief? What is it? It's the lever. It's, you run your hand a few more times over the lever, which is visible, but inlaid into the hull perfectly, level with its surroundings, whereas you'd been able to remove the panel, cover yourself by finding the recesses. There was nothing like that here, making grasping the lever impossible. I can't get any purchase on it. It's completely flush with the hull. There's no way to grip it. Uh-oh. We're thinking. Chief? Lieutenant Lord, do you know what the current security code is? Of course I don't. They're like the emergency input codes. Only the captain or second in command knows them. Why? Oh, God. Chief Engineer Kathy, I asked you a question. There's a moment of radio static, but you can hear the chief sigh through the crackle and distortion. In order to gain entry to an airlock from the outside, you need to input the ship's security code into the number pad. It's an analog locking system mechanism, but you still need that code. Uh-huh, we're thinking. God damn it. I think I know what the code is, though. Oh, God, we're all upset. God damn it, God damn it, God damn it, God damn you miserable excuse for a captain. God damn you, Quinn. You absolute airheaded bitch. Hey, watch yourself, Lord. Oh, shut up, Werf. But because of your stupid bimbo girlfriend deciding that now is a great time to take a nap, I'm stuck in a dead ship running out of air, trying to herd you knuckleheads around on this stupid, pointless errands. Oh my god. Stow it! Okay. I'm not a big fan of this either, but you're right now we're the best hope the ship's got. So if you could put a lid on the gigantic bitch act for 5 minutes and help us figure out how to solve this, we can. How dare you? I said stow it. Yo, I'm so mad. That's awesome. 5 minutes, Lieutenant Lord. Then once I'm on board, I can handle the rest of it myself. Then you can go back to pretending you're the most important crew member. This is insubordination. I'll have. All right, you two, that's enough. Both you and Vanessa snap into silence with the chief's interjection before either of you can start acting up. Again, she carries on in a commanding tone. Lieutenant Lord, do you know how long the security code is? Do you know the punishment for addressing a senior officer like that? No, ma'am, I do not. But if it gets Lieutenant Worfs on board any sooner, I'll say it's worth it. Do you know how long it is? Damn, putting her in her place. 4 digits. Thank you. Now, do we have any idea? Of course I don't have any idea. It's Quinn's responsibility to generate and set those kinds of codes. I know the code. Oh, okay. By the way, if you ever want to access my quarters, the passcode for the lock is your anniversary. It's pretty much the same passcode I use for everything. I already know it. It's 0211. I think I might know it. What? I said I think I might know it. It's, you rack your brain trying to remember the date when you and Cassie first visited Europa Amusement Park. It's 0211. I knew it. You quickly punch in the 4-digit security code and then hit the enter key. As you do, the lever rises out and you have access to the recess. Haha, yes! It's not that hard to remember. Hey, it's a date. Remember the ship's access password. Perfect. You've got it, Lieutenant? Yeah, it was 0211 in case that helps. And how did you know what the security code was? That's sensitive information. You don't want to tell Vanessa the reason why you're able to guess the code, that it was yours and Cassie's anniversary. So instead you scramble for a lie. It's the passcode for the Lieutenant Commander Quinn's quarters. I mean, that's true, but that's sad. Ugh, I can't believe it. These codes are supposed to be secure. How could she... For the time being, Lieutenant Lord, how about we just focus on the fact that I'm able to get into the hangar? That's a fair point. Shifting your position away from the number pad, you squat down by the raised lever. Okay. Taking it in both hands, you find it much easier to crank than the ones on the main lock, and in no time at all, the exterior hatch off the airlock is open. As you step inside the ship, you find yourself in a chamber almost identical to the airlock you left earlier, with the exception that it was much smaller. Moving quickly now, you close the exterior hatch behind you and follow the inverse process you carried out to leave the ship, pressurizing the chamber with oxygen and opening the internal hatch. Sure. In a few short minutes, you're back inside the familiar space of the ship's hangar and you remove your helmet, happy to be breathing something other than the suit's oxygen supply. I'm not sure that at this point the actual ship would be any better oxygenated than your suit. That's interesting. You disengage the electromagnetics before removing the suit completely, making sure to take your radio with you. Now unencumbered by its bulk and low gravity of the hangar, you gently drift towards the equipment storage, the uneasy silence surrounding you. There's someone to talk to? I don't see Dalton anywhere. Wonder where he could be. Let's look at some stuff. The armored frames are powered by an internal generator, so they're one of the few things on the ship that is still work. Not much use because we don't need to tear away out of the hangar. Anyway, okay. So we gotta look in these. None of that's doing me any good right now. I'll have to look through the crates by hand. Okay. Tools, equipment, and supplies. The portable sub-terminal that Chief mentioned should be somewhere in here. I guess I should get looking. I don't... Oh, I have to hit the use on it. Let's see. If that PST is going to be anywhere, it'll be amongst all the stowed equipment and gear. So In the darkness, the collection of stacked or suspended crates, containers, and various pieces of heavy machinery looms intimidatingly. Oh, okay. We're going to pause it here right now, guys, because that'll be time for this episode. Thank you all for watching. I know we keep ending on cliffhangers. How exciting. But I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will definitely see you guys next time. So take care, everyone, and have a good day.